Hey everybody, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome to Honest Youth Pastor Goes Live with. Today we are going to be talking to Taylor from Real Taylor Ransom, the Instagram account. He is known him for a while, known him from way back. I think I was around 5,000 followers, somewhere around there when really started talking to him. So let's bring him on and it and have some, I think, pretty good conversation about Instagram content and all that kind of stuff. So it's connecting, and then we'll get on with this.
Hey!
How's it going?
Doing pretty good. Let me just set up my little live thing here. Sound like an old guy. Oh, hey, I got a filter. I didn't mean to put a filter. I'm like a 14-year-old white girl. I'm turning this filter off.
Go get your flask, put some dog ears on. We're set.
What is happening? I did not ask for any of this. Wow. I'm just going to leave it. I don't even know if I can fix it.
I think if you cycle back around, you might. It looks like
so.
Yeah, I don't know how old anybody watching this is, but the one you just had on looked like the old school pictures when I was in elementary school with
like high school pics.
Yeah, it was
like
that looked like a serious filter. So, all right, man. Well, hey, thank you for hopping on.
Of course. Thanks for having me, man.
So there might be some people that don't know you, but I don't know how they wouldn't know you because a lot of your content's been featured on Epic Christian Memes. I know I've shared a few things. I mean, a lot of your original content you've been putting out has really been doing really well, but
been doing pretty good. Glory to God. Yeah, it keeps getting reposted everywhere. It's just like somehow it just ends up going beyond my accounts, and everyone else just takes it and reposts it. And hey, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, the quality, and I mean, I've DM'd you about this before, but the quality is just amazing. Like, it's just the time and effort that you can tell you put into these things is great. So now we're going to get to that. So before we get to that, though, I want to start at the beginning, right? So, so there's a lot of people that are very interested in probably doing very similar things that you do as far as content goes and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So let's start at the very, very, very beginning, and let's talk about when Taylor got on Instagram. What even made you say, hey, I'm going to make a content specifically for, I mean, you used to do like meme reviews, but what made you make a content that said, I want to do that and we'll see where it goes? Like what was rattling in your head when you thought that?
Yeah, when I first came onto Instagram, I had built a following on Facebook of a little over 10,000 followers there.
Holy cow,
Videos I had made. But I had noticed Facebook was making some changes in how the way they did things. They started promoting live videos more than regular videos. And I said, I kind of just was really praying, looking for what was next, because my content was just, it was fun to make. And I was having a great time. That's when I was making like these old school spirit-filled videos, stuff like that. It was fun. But I saw Instagram, and I saw all these wonderful Christian memes on it. And I realized I spent like probably an hour a day just like sitting around looking at these memes. And this might sound weird, but I have really good company with myself. Like, I wouldn't say that I talk to myself, but like I have a fun time. Like, I enjoy that. So I was looking at these memes and I was like, I could just make jokes with these memes, credit the original people that made these. So they're not going to mind. They'll be getting free promotion. And I'll make videos just doing it and enjoying it and just try it out on Instagram because I didn't have any followers there. I didn't have anything there. So I just thought I'll just try it out, just have fun. And then they started doing really good because that was right when the Explore page came out.
Oh,
and there wasn't a ton of people putting
perfect
stuff
storm.
Out. Yeah, so there wasn't people in the community putting stuff out on Instagram. It was pretty unique at the time. Now we got a lot of other content creators that are doing great. But back in the day, that was fun. That's how I got started, just making 1-minute videos on Instagram and reposting other people's stuff. It was fun.
Yeah, well, I think that's how I found you. I was on the Explore page, and one of the first videos I saw of yours was you reviewing a Christian memes, and you were like, hey, hey guys, you were asking for, hey, send me some more, and I'll, look at these and talk about these and roast these. And I was like, it was a unique thing. I only know of like one other person that had like been doing that. So that was like, I think that was the first video I saw of yours. Ever, I think, was one of those reviewing videos.
If you scroll back on my page, all the way to the bottom, there's like a whole block where it's just those videos where I'm like, oh, hey, there's this meme, here's this joke that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean that was a long time, and then after a little while, I wouldn't say I got tired of it per se. I just started having a lot of ideas and jokes and things I wanted to do that were separate than that, and now I don't hardly make those at all. I might put a new one out if somebody wants one. Every now and again, I'll get someone ask, "Hey, when are you putting another church sign video out?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that, and I'm like, I mean, maybe that's what everybody wants. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where obviously your content's developed, not past that, but just on top of that, where you say, like you said, I mean, you started saying, hey, I could do a lot more than just this.
Right. So I let myself experiment, which is exactly how I got onto Instagram. I was just messing around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people think you get on Instagram, you know, you've got this big strategic scheme. I'm going to get all these followers.
Yeah.
I'm going to use these awesome. I'm going to put this filter on because I actually like how it looks. I'm going to use all these hashtags. Like, I like it. I don't care what anybody says.
There you go.
Cool. But so I just was like messing around. So I've just kept messing around. That's still what I'm doing. I'm still just messing around on Instagram if I'm dead serious.
Well, but the nice thing is, I think that comes, I mean, so some of the things that I think, you know, draw people to you. Uh-oh, I might have been losing connection. We'll see. It's twirling around on you. There you are. But one of the things I think that draws people to your account is just, you're just like, hey, I'm Taylor. This is my honesty. Here we go. I mean,
part of it.
Yeah, I think that genuineness draws people. I mean, a lot of your audience knows you, and they know. I mean, the questions we're going to get to demonstrate that they know what you like. There's a lot of Chick-fil-A questions in there.
I'm sure.
There's a lot of content questions about like kind of this stuff, the videos you make. So switching from that, then. So obviously, you said that you just started having ideas and you started pursuing that. So obviously, the first tip for anybody that wants to kind of start, kind of what you're doing, is just to be you and do it, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you got to be 100% you. If you're being inauthentic and you're just making stuff because you think it's going to work out, that's kind of gross. Okay? Yeah. And no one's going to follow you if that's what you're doing. You really got to just be you. And that's scary. And it's embarrassing. A lot of times you're going to embarrass myself more times. Now I don't even care. It's like a daily, like, oh, hey, this is me. Deal with it. like I don't know what else to say, you know. So start out like that. Just be really authentic as much as people see. That's another messed up thing. Not to trail off into a buddy.
Oh no, do it. That's what this is. Just an interview, man. Go for it.
Well, people hear be authentic, and they think that means try to appear authentic. That's not what it means. Just be you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God made you. So just be comfortable with you.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, I mean, on that topic where you're talking about followers, you just have to just go with it and be okay, like you said, with, look, there's going to be people that are not into your content, and then there's going to be people that are. So don't try to pander after people that aren't into your content anyway, because then you're just going to have to keep feeding that beast, which you're not into. It's not you.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
it's like I remember back when I made content and some people would say, oh, this is cringe. You'd get a few people that would say things like that. You can make better content. I've gone on to make better content. It's the same. There's always going to be people that don't like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So
and you have to be good. I mean, like you said, you kind of have to be good with that, because there's people that come. There's people that often, I mean, I know you probably get this too, but there's people that come to my page and are like, I thought this was just funny memes. What's the seriousness? And I'm like, look, this isn't, you can't just come for one thing. I mean, like, you know, they're going to come for a variety of stuff. Your quality of stuff. I mean, you're not, because your content, like even yours, is like an extension of who you are. So it's just a matter of, you know, this is kind of Taylor. So if you're going to follow Taylor, you're going to have to be okay with
Taylor.
Yeah, get Taylor. So
that's what you get. What you see, what you get.
So you switch from, you know, a bunch of doing the same stuff all the time to, hey, I got some ideas. Let's do this. So I want to talk about, so obviously your production value went up, it seemed like, as far as the quality. You seem like you had some more people. So like your first ones are like kind of solo videos, and a lot of the stuff you've put out recently has other people in it. So how did you make that transition as far as, you know, did you just decide to spend more time on it, or kind of what happened there?
Well, I had a couple things happen. One, for a while, when I originally started, like I said, I made those Christian memes, church sign videos, and those were doing really well. So, I mean, I just kind of kept doing them. I was having fun making them, so why not? And then I kind of moved more into like the rants, which was still really just me and me just being me. And at first I thought everyone would unfollow, people wouldn't like them, but then people liked those just as much as they liked anything else. So then I kept going, but I had always had this desire for See, the thing is, we don't really have any great Christian content creators besides like a handful of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a handful. I don't count like John Christ. He's great, but I don't necessarily. He's a comedian, you know. He's using social media to build his thing. I don't see a lot of people using social media as an end, dude. You know, Shama and Paul at Deuteronomy are doing pretty good. They're making some good videos. I believe I'm making some good stuff. There's a few people, and then you have some girl bloggers that are doing okay, if you count them. But I just thought there's nothing on the market right now that's like this. It's like a higher production value with other people besides me just in my room ranting about things, and I wanted to make them. The funny thing is I made those. And people, I mean, they probably cared about those just as much as they like just me in my room by myself.
Yeah.
So it really, at the end of the day, it wasn't so much about results. I just really enjoyed making those. I have my friends in those. And I have a really good friend that's started editing some of my stuff when I do those higher production quality things. And he helps out with that. And because he's really on board with the vision. He thinks that we're going big time. And we are. So it's fun. So we're doing that. I think right now, though, I'm thinking about going back to those rants videos. I don't know what y'all in the comments are thinking, but maybe, because those are fun to make. I like yelling at my phone.
Hey, there you go. Hey, like you said, just be you. Mix it in there, right? I mean, mix it in. That's the thing. I mean, a good tip for everybody watching that does want to kind of do what you do, right? I mean, it's just a matter of, like you said, I don't think we can push that hard enough. Just do what you like, and if they follow, they follow. Because I think so you just passed 50K, for example, right? Congratulations on that. So when Davin,
you guys can unfollow me now, pretty much.
But when people get that big, I think what starts to happen, it went through my head. I'll be honest. I was like, oh no, like there could be a huge crash of followers.
There's a little bit of panic.
Yeah. So it's a matter of really. I mean, my wife, for example, she's a wonderful woman, and she reminded me a long time ago that you understand this is like just Instagram. Who cares if the people on the internet's like you? And I'm like, hey, you know something? You're right. Like, it doesn't even matter. So, I mean, it helps people, right, like you and I, to be like, we're just going to put out whatever. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. I like the TV head. That's nice.
Messing around while you talk. I think you're going to stay on the live if I mess around while you talk.
Oh, okay. Is that a tactic? I haven't read that. Changing up the imagery. But so I think it's important to just make content that who cares if people like it, just make it. So anyway, on that, so great. So now you're making higher quality stuff. What's going on I mean, if you don't care to get personal, right? So what's going on in your life? What's next for you?
What is next for me? I think, I really want to hit 100,000 followers by the end of this year. And I've always stayed away from follower count goals because at the end of the day, for me, that's never really been what it's about.
Yeah.
But I think it's really more of a way of measuring progress and how good you are at connecting with people online. Mm-hmm. And I think what's happening now is God's really moving. You know, I got people that are supporting me on Patreon. I've got other things. I've got merch. I've got things like that. And it's like I actually quit my job about a month ago.
Really?
I didn't say anything. Yeah, I didn't say anything on social media. I was able to quit my job and just do this full time. And then I'm doing that, and I'm a college student as well at the same time. So I'm really just focusing on my school and then my social media. So I think for me, I'm really just I'm gonna double down in the next couple weeks. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna make videos. I haven't posted anything in I think a little over a week now. It's been 8 days. People really don't recognize how much work goes into these posts you put online.
Oh, no, yeah.
Memes, people don't. You have to come up with something, and then like you said earlier, when you get bigger and you get more followers, you would think you'd get more confident. You don't. You're like before. Oh, I'm making some posts that some of my friends are gonna see. Some people I like, maybe they'll see, and then now it's like, oh snap, who's gonna see this post? If I make a joke about Lauren Daigle or somebody,
who's going to get all up in my,
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you can't. So now we play a little bit by a little bit of different rules, a little bit more. I think it's less that. It's really just you got to pay more attention to what you post.
To how you, Yes. So, no, and on the video stuff, you're right. I've been started, so we went into a partnership with ODG Apparel a while back, a week ago or so, and I've been upping my video content a little bit, but like you said, I did it a long time ago before my kids were born, and it was no big thing. I just sit down and do it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how long this takes to shoot and edit and to add things. And for all of it to get to the end, there's been a couple that I've made, man, and maybe you can. I don't know if you've done this. I get to the end and I'm like, I'm done, and then I rewatch it and I'm like, we got to trash that whole thing. We can't use any of that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man! I've had video. There's actually probably just as many videos in the deleted video box of my iPhoto as there is ones on the page. So I mean, it's like that indecision. That little bit of like, I don't think people are gonna like this. It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. Now you get to the end. There's been a couple that I've made. I'm like, the quality is. I wouldn't want to watch this. I didn't even like what I put in it. So we're just gonna trash it. So, good deal. Right. So let's go a little bit more serious. So this is one question that I ask everybody that's ever been on here. So it can go serious as deep as you want it to. But one of the questions I like to ask, especially people like you that's in the Christian content creating, just Christianity in general. What do you think currently is like one of the biggest issues in Christianity today? Now,
I'll tell you what the biggest issue is probably, and that is probably right off the bat, is we don't really have Christians that are actually making content. And what I mean is I see a lot of people that they find a way to pretty much kind of give the Christian community sort of what they want so that we kind of follow them. Mm-hmm. But then down the road, they end up like deciding, hey, I'm going to go mainstream here and get actual success. That kind of messes with me a little bit. But the truth is, it's hardly their fault, because I don't think as the church, we haven't really done anything to set up platforms for people that are...
To do, yeah.
Other than like preachers or pastors or singers. There's not much else.
Yeah.
Which is why I love the internet, because now, I mean, you don't need you can be whatever you want, and you don't really need anybody else's approval. Mm-hmm. So I think what I want to see is I just want to see more people make stuff on the internet. Like
this just quality Christian content.
Yeah, I just want more Christian content out there, and I think we don't have enough people doing it. And I don't know what's up with that. I don't know. Maybe we just aren't supporting them enough, so they feel they have to go into other arenas. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, on that, like you said, as far as the why there isn't more, I have a feeling it's probably because, one, like you said, nobody's really training anybody to do it. No one's been there before. Sure. No one's really blazed. I mean, unless you count like, Kirk Cameron on Fireproof, right? that's a movie. I don't count. That's a joke. Exactly. Don't count it either.
Oh, it's a joke. No, yeah, Kirk Cameron. I mean, he's a cool guy, but I don't count him as like a Christian content creator. He's a Christian legend at this point.
There you go.
Like, if you want to make a Christian movie, first phone call. Boom,
there you go.
Kirk Cameron. Kirk, we're making a Christian movie. Get you and your 6 kids and your minivan down here. We're going to make this movie. Boom.
Yeah.
That's a Christian movie.
Yeah, so. It'd be Kirk Cameron, whoever the brothers are that make all those movies anyway, and the one lady that starred in the prayer closet that's in like 4 or 5 of this. You just get them all together.
And Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Brady in there somewhere.
So let's throw them out. I think the reason we don't see it, though, is like there's no one that's blazed that path before that's been super successful. It's successful and effective, really, that's been able to put out quality continual content that I could think of as far as online, but it's not been around for a real long. I mean, I don't know of any big Christian YouTubers really. And they did. They've hit a pretty consistent stride for a while. I mean, I know they've been on there for a minute, but again, like you said, a lot of their content is pretty straightforward. It's not kind of like the content you're putting out. It's more like front of camera talking kind of stuff that I've seen of them. Right. So. Awesome. Okay, so we've got some follower questions.
Fan-submitted questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Send in those
so let's hit some of these up here real quick, and we'll see where this goes.
All
right. Okay, here's a good one. How much would it cost to watch you interrogate a Chick-fil-A employee about being closed on Sundays?
How much would that cost? Nothing.
Oh no! See, that was your chance. See, that was your chance to plug Patreon right there.
Patreon. Oh snap! Yeah, Patreon. Patreon.com/Ransom. Go to my account. Go to my bio. Yeah, it's like $1 a month to be on my Patreon. By the way, just on the download.
There you go.
Anyway, no, I would love to. I think it's funny. There's this rumor that the Chick-fil-A board about once a year has a discussion about whether or not they're going to go open up on Sunday or not. And from what I've heard, there's about 40% of the board that wants them to be open on Sunday. And they always quote how much more money they'd make, if they're open on Sunday. So I don't know. Because on one hand, I want to be like Chick-fil-A. I like by not opening on Sunday, they're kind of making a statement, which I love the statement.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, it is kind of Old Testament to not do anything on Sunday. Legally, I don't know if the rule is there that they actually have to be closed. So
I think it's good for them. It gives them a nice image.
Yeah. The image is not, but I think it's nice. I mean, Truett Cathy, originally what he said is he wanted people to be able to go to church on Sunday morning. So that's cool. I'm just saying maybe you guys could open like after church, like maybe like 12 p.m. so I can go there after I go to church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a thought.
They could have. Hey, I know of a church that holds church service in a Chick-fil-A on Sunday. So I mean, they're already there.
Yeah. Hey, that's funny. That's actually that could work. Snap. I can start a church right now.
we just sidelined your whole plan for Christian content. He's now a church planner.
All of it. Non-denominational. I'm going to go buy some Yeezys so I can get on preacher sneakers and get that free advertisement.
There you go. That'll launch you. All right. Next question here. Now, I don't want to set you off or trigger you, but why don't you like pineapple on pizza? They say. Is it odd tasting? I think it's so good. Uh-oh, here it comes.
That was a stupid question. It's not stupid question time. If you're going to ask a stupid question, let's get up off this live. Thank you. Stupid question. Why don't I like pineapple on pizza? I'll tell you. Because it's stupid. That's why. Pineapple on pizza is possibly the most... I'm sorry. My doctor said I need to keep my blood pressure down.
Hashtag triggered.
Yeah, so we just going to chill. We're just going to chill on that. Pineapple on pizza. If you like pineapple on pizza... I don't know. Go live in Canada. Go live somewhere else where people can tolerate people that like stupid things. There we go. Boom.
He just deported you is what he did. He just kicked you out of this country.
I will deport. Yeah, it's a good thing I'm not the president. I would just deport. Out.
Wow. Anyway, that bar is pretty low too there. Okay, here we go.
Pineapple on pizza?
You're gone.
Adios.
Next question here. How do you think the move of Christian entertainment online will affect the future church? So this ties into what we were talking about.
I mean, here's the deal. There are Christian people, and I'm not trying to brag. This has nothing to do with me, but take someone that was in my position, for example. Mm-hmm. You have a 23-year-old with 50,000 followers on Instagram. I can go live at any time and probably have 100 people watching, or I can put up a post and 30,000 people are going to see it within 6 hours. Never before has that type of reach ever been granted to anybody. The Apostle Paul didn't have that. Mm-hmm. The apostles didn't have that. The disciples didn't have that. Nobody's had that. And the thing is that's weird is a lot of our big church leaders have not caught on to it yet. If they are on social media, they have a team doing it. Mm-hmm. And there's so many, I think that the future of the church is probably going to be more shaped by people that learn how to use this thing, the phone that's in front of me, than people that are going through the traditional routes of, going to seminary, getting a degree, blah, 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 going through the checklist of what you're supposed to do to go into ministry. Yeah, like Blind Meeting the Blind just said, imagine if Paul had Instagram. Like, think about that. I mean,
he'd have so many people in the comments like, you should delete this. This is horrible. How dare you say that?
Yeah. The Apostle Paul, you're not even a real apostle. You were killing us 2 years ago, and now you're going to come on here and post Bible verses? Get off of Insta. That's what would happen. Yeah. So.
Hashtag I like the Old Testament. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So, and I think you're right on that. I mean, to build on what you said, I think so. What I see, and I'll just rant on this for a minute. A lot of the bigger church leaders, like you said, they either don't run their own accounts, or if they do, it's always some sort of sermon clip promoting the last thing they did, and or trying to sell you something, which I think like what we talked about at the very beginning of this. Like if you're authentic, people will follow, they buy into that, they like you. And I think, like you said, there's a huge portion of people that I think are maybe being missed by that would be way more likely, for example, like you said, to listen to you than maybe one of them, because they know that you're going to shoot it to them straight. You're not trying to, sell them the next big thing. You're just going for it. And they know
sometimes
that.
I question sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, is this how things should be? Like, is this how, should they really be listening to me and not somebody else? You know, God, the Bible says every good thing cometh down from above, from God. So I think some people are failing to utilize social media. And then some people, I think in the last days, since we put that last days keyword in this question, I think in the last days, man, I mean, our future prophets, preachers, leaders, and apostles are like straight up influencers right now. Like, they're probably selling teas on Instagram, and you probably just need to chill and wait 30 years and see what they do.
Gotcha. All right, so let me see. Next question here. Oh, this is good. I like this. Nice advice here. So, what is the best thing for you about serving the Lord on Instagram through your platform here?
Straight up, the amount of, I mean, you would be, I mean, I've had people that have messaged me and said, Taylor, I'm depressed. Taylor, I'm going through this time in my life and it's really hard. I saw a post of yours, made my day. Just wanted to let you know, you're being a blessing. Keep doing what you're doing. So I think my favorite part is just seeing when it actually makes an impact in somebody's life. I love that. Of course, that's not everybody. For most people, it might just be some lulz. They might just like what I'm posting, and that's great. I think another thing is, too, I mean, I have so many friends and people that I know online that I just know from Instagram. So, I mean, there's a lot of just the ability to reach so many people. And I've never spent a dime on my Instagram except for maybe to put these sound insulation things up so that when I yell, people don't hear. Like I haven't spent, like, I mean, I don't, like, you don't run ads. It's like people just like with what you're doing, what God's doing through you, and that's awesome. Like, that's just awesome. I love it.
Gotcha. I mean, I can attest to that too. Like, I think the first time I got a message from a follower that was like, "Hey, I need advice on this," I was like, "Whoa, this is not what I expected this to be at all." Like, you realize I post memes. You get that that's what this account is, right? Like, and the cool thing, like you said, is that, like, they trust you with that. And you have to be really careful with that. But it's this really amazing gift of God saying, we're going to use this thing that you thought was just you putting stuff up to help other people through whatever what they're going through. And like you said, the connections too. I mean, like you said, people on Instagram that you don't know anywhere else. I mean, there's like 12 people I know on it, probably more than that like over the last couple years that I would have never met, you included, that are like, I'm just watching you guys going, this is awesome what God is doing. Like, the content, everybody putting this stuff out.
You're just out here having a good time.
Yeah. And it's amazing that God would just be like, okay, well, we're going to use this for my glory too. Something that you would have never thought. You're putting words on pictures, buddy, but we're going to take this to a whole other level.
We're going to use some old SpongeBob screen caps and some Helvetica new fonts, and you will build my kingdom.
That's in a verse somewhere. I'm not sure what translation, but yeah, that's there somewhere.
The Message translation. Look under John 4. It's in there.
It's in there. Yeah, Eugene Pearson helping us out.
Right.
All right. There was a question that I saw earlier that I didn't see in there, but I think it would be good to address. And it was talking about what is your take when people say that Christian meme accounts or people that post Christian memes are disrespectful to the church and disrespectful to God? Because, I mean, I've seen that a few times posted, but what would be your take on that? Because you've covered, we're going to count you as a Christian meme expert because that's where, you started way back when. So we're going to count you as a...
I would say, first of all, you are completely, I mean, you understand what's happening in the Christian community right now. It's like something new that has never happened before in history, which is, I mean, right off, I sound big talking about memes, you know what I mean? But it's like, if you come against it, you don't know what God's going to do through it. And two, at the end of the day, it's not so much about the memes, but the memes give you the ability to reach all these crazy amounts of people. And people that are really good at, like, even content on Instagram right now, you're going to find out that they actually have a natural talent to not necessarily, I wouldn't say to perform, but to sow into people and be able to connect with people in new and innovative ways we haven't done before. And they're probably people that are going to end up spreading the gospel a lot more than you are, getting mad in the comment section saying, oh, you posted a Christian meme, you're going to hell. Like, that just doesn't, I never understood the people that are against Christian memes. And if they were against them, it was just a really old Karen that did not understand the format or the template or anything like that. And then of course, like I saw someone just comment, "Let me in." It was just a meme. They don't understand. Like half the time, we're just kidding around. Okay, it's just a joke. We're not trying to condemn anybody or nothing like that. And you're just gonna have haters. Haters are haters. Haters are haters. And Armenian probably said. Armenian. Probably said. That's funny. All right.
So there was another question in there. There's so many in there that I'm trying to remember some so I can ask you.
I can go fast.
So okay. Why don't you like ranch?
Because it's trash. It's disgusting. You might as well be eating mayonnaise or something. It's a trash sauce.
There is a totally different taste and consistency there.
It's disgusting. It's just tangy. The only thing I will confess, I have eaten them on memes, on really hot wings. Really hot buffalo wings. Sometimes you need it to take that edge off. But, I mean, people that sit and dip. Like, I have this brother. I have a brother. Maybe I shouldn't call him a brother. I don't know. But he's my brother. He's my younger brother. And he spreads ranch on his Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. And honestly, I'm upset. I think that is just wrong. Should not do it. Should not do it. I think ranch is stupid. Anyway, next question.
Next question. All right. What is your
old man cave.
Oh man, he's got his old man cave. He's gonna come at you. What's your favorite worship song?
Of all time or right now?
Both. We'll go with all time first and then right now.
Of all time, there is this one really good album that I listened to right before I got any followers on Facebook, before I had anybody follow me on the internet. It's this album by Israel Houghton and New Breed called New Season. It was recorded in, what is that guy's church name? You guys probably wouldn't know who he is anyway. It's Israel Houghton and New Breed called New Season. And there's this new song that goes, "It's a new season. It's a new day." That song. Like that, I love, like that's my song, man. Like at any given time, I might turn that song on. Now, my favorite song as of recently, I mean, in the last few years, I really like "The King of My Heart" by Stephanie, whatever her name is. That was good. But that's just white boy worship. That's all, like white people worship songs. So it's good. I kind of like a mix of like white people worship songs, if we call it that.
There you go.
And then like some gospel. Like I love gospel because I grew up in like Pentecostal, spirit-filled, shout down churches. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of in the blood. But King of My Heart, and then of course Reckless Love beats Oceans every time. I didn't like Oceans the first time I heard Oceans. I was like, that's gonna be the biggest song. Do you know what song should have been as big as Oceans, but wasn't as big, but it should have been?
I'm interested.
Victor's Crown by Darlene Check. That should have been Oceans. That should have got.
I'm gonna have to listen. I don't know if I've ever heard that song.
You don't even know what the song is.
I don't even know.
So stinking good. She did a song of it in Australia. She had Israel Houghton on the stage. She had, what is her name? She had like so many other singers up there doing it, and it was like perfect. And it should have.
You're gonna have to post that in your stories after, so that we can all just go and listen, and there'll be like this resurgence, and maybe it will become.
Victor's Crown, Darlene Check.
Okay.
Y'all check it out. Anyway, someone's in the comments plugging his playlist.
Oh, of course. Yes.
I hope it's his own music.
I'll tell you what. Every time I post, I don't know if you get this, but let me go on a Taylor rant real quick. All right.
Go ahead.
Every time I post, there's always. Isn't it? Oh, it is. Every time there's somebody in the comments going, "Hey, yo, check out my YouTube channel. I'm a new SoundCloud rapper. Help me out." I'm like, what? One day I went off, and then I was just like, I had to calm down a little bit in the comment section. I was like, this isn't worth it. This is okay. You're just tired. You need Snickers back up. But I was just like, come on.
Now, half the time, if I get a comment like that, I have to go listen to it. Because somewhere in my head, I'm like, what if they're actually good? What if this is the next Andy Mineo? And I missed it because I didn't listen. And then it's always trash.
Okay, I was about to say, I don't think you found an Andy Mineo in your comment sections before.
Jesus Christ is the life. That's why I spread the light. About to ask you why, but I got these freaking bird mites all over myself. Got to go take a shower. Be right back. Like I'm just like looking at you like, why? Why?
All right, so here's a question I think we all want to know. Why hasn't Chick-fil-A sponsored you yet?
It's a very, very good question.
I mean, do we need to write letters to corporate? Well, I mean, what do we need to do?
I've thought of a few different things. to do. Honestly, I never even asked to be sponsored by Chick-fil-A. I would love it if they do have these things I've heard about, because I pay close attention to Chick-fil-A rumors in Chick-fil-A. There are these black cards, Chick-fil-A black cards they give to people. And if you get one of these cards, you can go to any Chick-fil-A anywhere, buy whatever you want, and it just like comes off the card, like the company covers it.
How you get that?
Usually you win them either in like a contest or in a drawing. Corporate will do it. They've done it a few times where you can win one of those, or you're like friends and family or like a corporate high up employee. I just want one of those cards. That's
Gotcha.
it.
Now, Mimi the blind here makes a good point. I mean, after you get enough Chick-fil-A reward points, like, I think you should just get one. And I'm pretty sure you got a lot of reward points, just from what I see in the stories.
Yeah, from between me and my dad's points, we have well over $5,000 worth of Chick-fil-A points. That's no exaggeration. Like, and that's not even counting from before I only started using the points like 6 months ago, and my dad's been using them for probably about a year. He's probably using them longer.
True story. There's been times when I'm watching your story, your Chick-fil-A, and I think, does he ever eat at home? Does he ever eat at home?
Every once in a while, but I just get really like kind of sad. Like I'll make like a bean burrito.
Yeah.
Or like some microwavable thing. I'm not much of a cook. I wish I was.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually, Uber Eats is like killing my wallet right now.
Oh, yeah.
Every meal's like $15 after delivery, and it's so convenient.
Have you got, okay, so here's a question. So obviously you get it a lot. I'm assuming you get Chick-fil-A a lot off of Uber Eats.
Like every day.
Okay,
Probably,
so have you got the same driver enough times where he's like, I knew it was you, Taylor. I knew that this.
Oh, yeah. No, my Chick-fil-A, everybody in there knows who I am. Like, I went to this one Chick-fil-A. One of the girls that was there actually recognized me, knew who I was when I first started coming there. And then she told the other people that work there. Now, every time I go there, like, they're real nice. Like, they bring my stuff out to the table. Like, I'll be there.
They treat you like a king.
Yeah, they walk up. They're like, Taylor, do you want to refill? Like, you know, like it's this big deal. Some of them are really nice. I mean, they're really nice. But everyone at my Chick-fil-A, when I pull up, they're immediately like, all right, spicy chicken sandwich, no pickles, Colby Jack cheese, large fry, large Coke Zero. Like, they know what's up. So, yeah, there's a lot of Chick-fil-A's. I'm trying to think. I pretty much go to one Chick-fil-A, but there's several of them where I know people that are there.
Gotcha. Hey, it's good. It's good for their business, right? You are giving them free. Now, here's a follow-up question. I don't know if your Chick-fil-A has this, because from what I hear, it's not at every Chick-fil-A. But have you been able to try the mac and cheese, the new mac and cheese from Chick-fil-A?
I haven't. I've gone to Chick-fil-A twice, specifically to get the macaroni and cheese, and they have been out both times.
Oh,
and
out.
I think Chick-fil-A corporate, when they have these new products, they just need to send it out on a drone to me, like before anybody else gets it. Like, Taylor,
just drop it
try
to you.
this, post about it. Boom. But I haven't got to
I'm
try
telling
it yet.
you,
Is
they're
it good?
missing out not sponsoring you. They are.
Oh, totally. But it doesn't matter. Probably half the reason they don't sponsor me is I've already given them tens of thousands of dollars.
He's paying us.
Yeah, at this point. So I think the mac and cheese, I've heard from a lot of people that it's good. I've heard from pretty much everyone that it's just mac and cheese. It's nothing real special. It's kind of just good mac. I mean, it's good mac and cheese. I don't know if it's going to be a regular item. Now, I have to ask. And now I got a question for y'all.
Oh, okay.
How many of y'all follow me on Twitter? Because I've been tweeting every day about that banana pudding milkshake that they need to bring back from 2010. And I'm just really shocked by the amount of people that don't know about that milkshake that they had. Did you know they had a banana pudding milkshake?
I didn't. No. I'm not I'm not a milkshake lover. Two, literally the closest Chick-fil-A to me is an hour away. So
oh, snap. Well, you got to move, man.
I live in a Chick-fil-A dead zone.
You can sell your house and move, sir.
My wife is actually...
God spoke to the Israelites in Egypt and said, arise and go to the
He's
promised
prophesying.
land.
He's prophesying, yes. So, my wife actually, at one point, she was like, hey, because she's got a business and marketing degree. She goes, we could just open a franchise. She goes, I've looked it up. They only open so many a year, but we can open one. Let's do this.
You could. Yeah, the requirements to open a Chick-fil-A franchise are actually surprisingly low, and it pretty much, when you have a Chick-fil-A, it's not like other franchises. You don't necessarily own the restaurant.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A still owns it. you're considered an owner/operator. So you pretty much act like it's your restaurant, but they could kind of take it at any time. I think obviously it's more specific than that. I'm sure you.
Well, you can't just give God's chicken away and not have some strings attached. I mean,
you can't just sow seed and not have a harvest. You know what I mean? So so it's all good, but no, it's actually easier. The whole process to owning a Chick-fil-A, and I've researched this extensively.
Obviously, I would expect nothing less.
There's pretty much a series of interviews. You got to send in an application. There's a series of interviews that you go through in ascending order with different people. And then if you pass all the interviews and your financials, I believe you have to have an excess of at least $750,000 in liquid assets, which means like you can have it right now.
Do they take Chick-fil-A points for that?
I wish if they did. I'm already like a quarter of the way there. Like I might be able to pull it off. So I have not, someone said, did you try it? I have not tried to open a Chick-fil-A yet. I am perfectly, back of my head, I'm thinking maybe as an old man, maybe when I'm 65 and I'm washed up and irrelevant on Instagram, maybe then I'll open my own Chick-fil-A. Maybe.
All right.
But when that happens, everyone on this live stream can come and you guys are getting free milkshakes. Boom. Done.
Yes, because you'll have the banana milkshake. So
we will have that banana pudding milkshake. I don't want anyone to have any doubts about that. We're getting that back. Okay? They had it for one. Do you understand this? They had the banana pudding milkshake for one season. The next year, they had it for one day. It was the highest calorie count milkshake in all of fast food history. It had 1,200 calories per
Oh, my
milkshake.
goodness.
And at that time, Chick-fil-A was on this whole health kick thing, and that's why they got rid of it. But it was the best tasting thing ever.
Well, when you got 1,200 calories, you can't go wrong.
It's got to have something good in there. You know, it had real vanilla wafers and banana pudding, and it was delicious. And that's what I want.
Let's shift gears here for a second. We got about 20 minutes left. A couple questions that came in that I think it would be really interesting. I'm interested to hear about. What are kind of your next projects you're working on? What do you got cooking right now without giving it away, but just kind of teasing us a little bit that you can tell us?
Next projects. I have a few. I will say one. I've been experimenting for like the past 4 months or so on events. I've had a few bookings, like going to speak places, preach.
Yeah, I saw you recently did one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been messing around a little bit. I'm trying to figure out how to do this right, but there needs to do. My followers are so spread out over the country. Like,
yeah.
I would think in my head it'd be mostly people in the South, but I've got tons of people in Houston. There's tons of people in New York. There's tons of people in Knoxville, Tennessee, and of course in the South. You go down to Lakeland, Florida. There's a lot there. I would love to be able to at least do some type of meetups or something like that across the country where I could really, instead of just connecting with people over the internet, I could also do it in real life.
Let's just do a meme con, man. All the memers and you.
No. See, I wasn't going to talk about that, but I've talked to several people about a meme con. I've talked to 3 people about a meme con. The hardest thing is you just got to convince the people that are big enough that it's worth the time and money and effort. But it wouldn't be that hard. Like, there's people I know that have conference centers and stuff like that. Like, if it was done right, it could be big. A meme con, and just like what you do is you'd have everybody. That's the key. You'd have to have all the big pages, and you'd have to have everybody there. I mean, I think if me and Alex Makes Christian Memes went there, probably be enough to get some people. And then
I tell you what, you both have quite a draw. Again, going back to what we talked about before, you're just authentic. I mean, you guys just put out content. You're eating at Chick-fil-A. Alex is over here without his shirt on, and everybody's eating it up, loving it. So it's
exactly. Anyone else that walks in that doesn't understand the community would be like,
what is happening? We have somebody eating chicken and somebody half naked. What are these people following?
Exactly. Yeah, and then be like, Shama's over there taking care of his baby probably. Paul's in a pink bathrobe.
Yes, lounging. Can you imagine? I mean, so meme con, it's you on stage with Chick-fil-A sandwich. Alex is sitting next to you with no shirt. Paul's sitting up there in his bathrobe, freestyling some raps, and everybody's just up there trying to moderate, and nobody knows what's happening.
Yes. There'd be no moderation. It'd be me yelling about the banana pudding milkshake for 20 minutes. And then you'd have the epic Christian Memes there, but it'd have like a mask on because he refuses to show his face.
Yeah.
And you'd have Edgy would be in there somewhere. Edgy Christian Memes. He'd be laying hands on people. Can casting out devils. That's what he'd be doing. It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. Anyway.
Hey, there could be a ton of the draw could be all those face reveals, right? So those of us that haven't already showed our face,
awesome. Like,
everybody, you're coming. Hey, you're going to see Epic. You're going to see all these people. There you go. We could have Petty up there leading worship. I mean, we can work this out. We can get this. We can get this to where it goes somewhere. So
that's cool. The only other thing I'm thinking about is, I think that there's an area of Christian TV that's really untapped. Like, if you go watch Daystar TBN right now, every single thing they're doing is the same. Like, all the shows are either just an edit of a Sunday service that they're putting up there, or it's someone at a coffee table with a coffee and their latest book, and they're sitting and talking. Nothing wrong with those. I think those are cool shows. But I think that a lot of the Christians, especially the younger audience that still watches some TV programming, like, there needs to be something for them. Like, I've played around with some stuff. I play around and mess around with a lot of ideas. But, like, if the opportunity comes up, I'd love to do that. But otherwise, I mean, I'm happy just making videos on the internet. You know what I mean? I really want to get into that, just more of that.
Gotcha. So here's 2 questions here, because Instagram will cut us off in an hour. So I want to make sure we get these last 2 questions.
Sure.
One, somebody asked if you're a preacher, if you're looking to do that. I know you've had speaking events. Is that something that you feel like you're called to that ministry, that sort of thing?
For sure. Yeah. No, I went and preached this last weekend. And what I do when I preach, when I say preach, I mean, I'm still me. So the whole thing is still very comedic in a way, but no, like, I'll go and I'll preach a word. I'm a PK. So I grew up in church. Everything in my life has been church or the Bible or the Word or listen to somebody else preach. And the crazy thing is, you listen to enough people preach a long time, you don't even have to try to preach. You can just preach. So it's fun, and I really feel like that's the way God can move through me. But I think another way people don't realize, I mean, hey, the stuff we do on Instagram right now is preaching. It's not the traditional hour and a half yelling into a microphone preaching, but you're still communicating a message.
Well, sometimes there's memes that preach more than a sermon does. I mean,
sure. Yeah, well, memes and videos, I mean, they communicate at higher bandwidth. It's not just someone talking. It's a whole thing. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, you can communicate better with, like, short videos or meme posts, whatever you put up on here, than you can. Because people these days, they don't want to even listen to somebody talk for an hour.
Yeah.
Especially not live. You know, the crazy thing is, if you go back and you listen to, like, Billy Graham, or you go back and you listen to, say, Oral Roberts, you go and listen to people that had huge crowds at one time, their most popular sermons are 13 to 20 minutes max. Like, Oral Roberts,
I didn't know that, yeah.
Fourth Man, like, some of the biggest sermons these guys preached that got them the biggest audiences, they preached for, like, 15 minutes. And I just want to know, like, I'm not saying that we need to cut sermons shorter, but if your sermon or your message is actually impactful, or if it's actually something that, that God is trying to communicate to people, you can get it across in much less time than an hour and a half. So, I mean, I think
or at least cut it down into chunks like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go preach for like 30 minutes. I mean, I've gone longer, but only if people are into it. Like, I'm not afraid to cut it short sooner if I have to. So that's just...
Gotcha. My longest was 45 minutes by accident. I didn't even know. I got done. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Did not know.
Hey, you get into it. My thing is, I always play the crowd, always. Even when I'm preaching, I can't help it. Like, if I'm doing...
It's built into your personality.
Yeah, like, if you are in comedy, you're paying attention to the crowd. But that kind of, like, even goes into my preaching, because I'll be preaching, I'll be like, okay, there's a need for that here.
I think if pastors, on that point, I think if pastors would be a lot more acute to how the congregation, just the body language and what's going on, like a comedian does specifically, you're going to be able to, move with the Spirit to where he needs to move you in order to communicate, because you might have something in your head. This has happened a few times to me that I'm up there and, like, it just becomes very aware to me that either that hit hard and I need to explain myself, or, like, we need to go maybe a different direction with this. Like, if you just pay attention to kind of the vibe, it's very, because I've had pastors that don't pay attention to the vibe at all, and it's very obvious.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So we got about 5 minutes left, so I want to end with this. If you had 5 minutes, which we right now do, to talk to just a room full of people to give them advice on this next upcoming year for them, as far as like, hey guys, this would be the advice I would give you just from my life right now. Go for it. What would you tell them?
Whatever you're afraid of is not a sign that you're supposed to stay away from it. It's a sign that you're supposed to run towards that thing. This next year, whatever you're afraid of, you got to just get rid of that. Like, I used to be afraid of so much stuff. I used to be afraid of how people would think about me on Instagram. I used to be afraid. I mean, my gosh, I was afraid to walk out of the house in the morning. I think a lot of people are like that too. Give up the fear is what I would say. Be completely you. And the crazy thing is that happens when you do that is there's a lot of people that suddenly don't know who you are. And that's actually weird, because what that means to me, if that happens to you, what that means is you've been putting on a fake persona without even realizing it for possibly for years, just because you were afraid of what other people were going to think about you. Like, I'm going to be honest, like even in real life, you know, I'm very loving towards everybody. It's pretty clear that there's two groups of people that really really like me, like they do anything. And then people that are like, all right, he's cool, but like not my cup of tea. And the thing is when you're really 100% who God made you to be and you're like that, that's kind of how it is. But I think that people just need to stop. I think you can be a lot more effective being who God made you than you can be putting on some fake persona. And the thing is, when I say a fake persona, people aren't manipulative. Y'all aren't liars. It's not like you're trying to tell anybody a mistruth. But a lot of times we lie to ourselves more than we lie to anybody else. So it's like, you know, it's just awful. There are people that put so much money into their outfits. Like, I was going through Raising. Oh, first of all, y'all forgive me. I was going through Raising Cane's a few weeks ago, the non-denominational Chick-fil-A, that one, Raising Cane's. This guy in the window had a Gucci belt on. This employee in the window, working the window, had a Gucci belt on. I couldn't help but notice. So I was like, I'm like, is that a Gucci belt? He's like, yeah, man, it's a Gucci belt. You know, it's all Gucci around here. And I was like, okay, so, all right, you have a Gucci belt. I got to ask,
Raising Cane is all.
What was your Gucci belt? You know what I mean? He said he bought it for a friend for $300. And
oh my goodness,
I thought about it for a sec, because if you're working the Raising Cane's drive-thru, how could you possibly be making more than $10 an hour and you're wearing a $300 belt? I don't know if he has other ways of making money. Maybe he just works there for some reason. I'm not trying to condemn that guy. He can live his life, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're buying that because you want other people to think something about you when you're off shift. And that is such a waste of time, money, and resources. Like, just be who you are, and just be willing to accept the consequences of that. Unless you're just a hateful person or something like that, in which case you need Jesus, because that's not who he made you to be. I see someone commented that said sign the waiver. It's true. If your youth pastor is telling you to sign the waivers, guys, just sign the waivers so you can stop yelling at you and getting your parents.
Also, if something happens from a youth pastor's perspective, I don't want your blood on my hands. Sign the waiver.
You know what the sign thing is about that? You know what the dumb thing about that waiver is? It protects the church from liability, but it does not protect you from liability at all, sir. So you got to give them two waivers. You got to give them your waiver and the church's waiver. Because with that, if those parents go to a lawyer after that kid fell off a roof after jumping onto it from a trampoline, when you turn your head for 2 minutes, like, he can come and sue you. He can sue the heck out of you.
We just got some spiritual advice and some legal advice. Thank you for joining the live stream. Taylor Ransom, everybody. Awesome.
It's fun.
Good job. I feel like you should have had some sort of like organ going behind you the whole time. While you were saying that, it would have really just brought out the
organ.
Or I mean, maybe not. We'll go piano.
Let me see what I got.
Oh, here we go.
I got a few minutes left, right?
Yeah, you got like 4.
I got like 4 minutes left. I got like 4 minutes.
3 or 4.
4 minutes. My iPad is dead. Snap. I have an app on it that actually has the organ.
He was going to bring us. He was going to bring us.
I should have opened the live with that. What was I thinking?
I don't know. Next time. We'll have you on again.
Next time, for sure. 100%. So
right,
it's been fun. Last 4 minutes, is there any random questions like in the comments? We're going to ask. I think I saw Edgy put up a peace sign a minute ago.
There's a couple that have come in here real quick. Let's just do a spinning wheel of questions and see what I hit here.
Right.
Here,
Guys,
last
your
question.
questions in really fast.
What is your favorite Bible verse?
At Proverbs 19. How does it go again? 1 second. Let me think it in my head. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy paths. Proverbs 19, verse 6. Yes,
Gotcha.
That's my favorite.
All right. Quick answer here because we're going down to the timeline and the clock here. I got you hooked on Chick-fil-A the first time.
Well, it got me hooked. You know what's crazy is my family, we did this family vlog back before family vlogs were a thing, where we ate at Chick-fil-A every day for a year and vlogged it, and it was fun. And that's what got me hooked on Chick-fil-A. I think something happened then, started a bad habit, and I've just been stuck in it ever since. I think that's what happened.
Gotcha. This is not a question, but a comment. Oh, she bought a Honda is what somebody said.
Should have bought a Kia. That's how you follow that up. It's she bought a Honda.
Should have bought a Kia. All right. All right, man. We're going to actually head off here. Thank you for hopping on.
Some people said, yeah, that's Proverbs 3. You're 100% correct. The reference for that is Proverbs 3. My apologies, y'all. It's a good verse, though.
Hey,
even though
they'll correct you every single time if you get something wrong. Or in my case,
make a mistake on the internet.
When you grammatically incorrect, you will definitely get a DM from somebody. And I always just do the head and hand emoji with a thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. So, all right, man. Thank you for hopping on, dude. Love your content.
Thank you.
And I mean, you seem like somebody that's got you've got a lot of ideas, and I'm just praying that God just keeps that in you, and you got amazing things ahead of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thanks for having me on.
No
I want to come on. We'll have to do this again sometime.
We will.
Fun. And thank you to everybody that stayed on and watched for almost an hour now. You guys are awesome. A suit, it's just a jacket. I see that comment. It's just a jacket. I bought it at Banana Republic. Just chill out. Anyway, all right.
All right.
God bless you guys.
I'll see you.
Click the X now.
All right. See you. Bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys. Well, that was Taylor. Awesome time. Great conversation. Thank you for joining in. I'm going to post who's coming on next month. We got Jaron Myers coming on. We don't have one next week, but the first Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, we got Jaron Myers, the comedian, coming on. He's going to head out our interviews for September. And then we got Petty Christian Memes coming on after him. And after Petty Christian Memes, we have Pastor Humor coming on. And we'll talk to those guys. So just kind of give you a taste. I'll pop that up in the story sometimes who's coming next. But obviously this interview will be up for 24 hours. After that, it will be available on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. Guys, I really appreciate this. You guys watching and following. I love these conversations, and I'm glad that we have the technology that you can join along as well. So thank you for joining in. Hope you guys have a good night. We'll see you later.